Hello everyone. So in this session, we are going to discuss constructor in object-oriented programming language. So in last session, we have seen, yes, no, what is object-oriented programming language and how we can define a class, and then how you can create the instance of the class. And then we have discussed also how you can define within a class getter and setter method to initialize your property that you have defined. If you want to set and get the property value from outside the class, then you can get and set property value using the getter and setter. Today I'm going to discuss new class. First of all, I give the class name like a person dot groovy. So I have created one class, person class. Now we're going to create person class. So how we can create a class with a class keyword, then class name, person. I give the class name like a person. Within a person class, let's we declare a property. So whatever property you have declared, it is a recommended. You make those property as a private, so no one can access those property outside the class directly. So you can provide accessibility of those property through getter and setter method. So you can make public getter setter method. So here we define one person class which contain two property name and age. Suppose we have defined one more property private string age. Sorry, integer age. So we have two property name and age in this person class. So person has two property name and age. Now, if you want to set and retrieve those property value, you can set and retrieve those property using getter and setter. So let's say we are defining getter and setter method. So here, just like last time, we have defined getter and setter method and the fruit class. Now we have similar defining getter and setter. So def, and now we define one method set. I want to define one setter method for name property. So here we take one parameter like yes, no, uh, and 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 then now inside name we are assigning the n value. And now we define one parameter like we have defined one more parameter. Go to the person class, person.groovy. If you want to define a type, you can define type also. So this is a setter method. Now you want to define getter. So get name. And now get name method will return the name property value, return name. Now we define getter and setter for age property. So def and now age, set age, and now here we declare integer age. So now we are initialize age value with local parameter value a. And then we define getter and then we define getter. So def get age, which return the age value. So let's return age. Okay, so my person class ready. Now go to the demo.groovy class. In the demo.groovy class pack file, we want to use the person class feature. So you need to create person class object, person equal to new. I have created new person object, person. So I have created person class object. Once you create a person, you can check it. Here you have created the person class object. Yes, no? Creating person class object, person class object, but object is created. So when you create in a person class object, what happened in the background? In the background, one memory will be created. And this memory will contain two property like a name and an age. But now memory will be created, but this memory is not initialized actually. This memory basically not initialized. Object is created. Now this object will be pointing by the person variable. Person is a reference variable which pointing to that memory. So that memory will be pointing by the person object. Now, once object you have created, now we want to initialize an object. So we have discussed yesterday in the last session, you can initialize an object just by fetching one by one property. Yeah, otherwise we have one method, setter method. Using set name method, you can set the property name. Set name, you can set the name for your person class object, set name. Suppose I set the name as a John, so John is the name. So here, first of all, what we are doing, first we created the object. After creating the object, we are initializing the object. So suppose age is just 650 years. So first we have created the object, and then later on, after creating the object, we are initializing the object. So when we are initializing the object, we are initializing the person object after creating. After creating. Once you have initialized, then you are ready to use that person detail, person object. You can use that person object. But now my requirement has been changed. I want to initialize person object at the time of creation. So while we creating the person object, same time I want to initialize in a person object. So if you want to initialize person object at the time of creation, it means whatever initialization codes you have defined in person class, that code you need to execute while you creating the person class object. So in the person class where we can place that code needs to be executed while person class object is created. So if you want to execute any piece of code immediately when person class object is created. So if you want to create any of, suppose if you want to execute, if you want to perform any activity while you creating the instance of the class, then we should go for constructor. So we have constructor is the place, yes, no, is the place where you can place those line of code that you want to execute while you creating the instance, because constructor gets invoke automatic whenever instance of the class is created. And constructor is also known as a special method. And constructor name must be similar to the class name. So you can define constructor within your class. You can check here. I have defined one constructor with name person, because what is the class name person? So I have defined constructor just like a method. But we are calling this method as a special method. Why? The reason is that first of all, constructor name must be similar to the class name. The second reason, constructor will be invoked implicitly. No need to invoke explicitly. Immediately constructor will invoke once you create the instance for that person class. It means you can perform, if you want to perform any activity at the time of object creation, then those activity you can place inside a constructor. You can define the constructor inside the class, and you can place all those activity that you want to execute at the time of object creation. So those activity you can place inside a constructor. So let's just we have print statement. I'm writing println statement. Hello constructor. Yes, no. Hello constructor. Hello constructor calling. Yes, no. Hello constructor calling. Just we are writing this statement. And to verify, this statement gets invoked when you create the instance of person class. Go to the demo.groovy, and now we have removed this line of code. You can check here, just we have create the instance. We have not calling anything, just we have create the instance of the person class. So once you create the instance of the person class, what happened? Let's check here. You can check here. Constructor will invoke automatically. It means constructor is a special block, a special function that you can define inside your class, and constructor name must be similar to the class name, and constructor gets invoked automatic whenever you create the instance of the class. So constructor is a special method that gets executed automatic whenever instance of the class is created. So here we have defined one zero parameterized constructor. Okay, so if you want to make its parameterized constructor also, so you can make its parameterized constructor also. Okay, what my requirement? I want to initialize person object at the time of creation. So it means object initialization code we can place inside a constructor, because when you create the object initialization code gets invoked and it will initialize the object. Because while you created the instance of the class, constructor of the class will invoke automatic. So here you can check, here you can verify in your person class how many property you have defined. You have defined two property, name and age. It means you need to define one constructor with two parameter. So let's now we define a constructor with two parameter. One will take a parameter string name, sorry, n, and comma integer age. So here you can check here, this your instance variable name, this your property. Inside a class, if you define directly any variable, that variable is called as an instance variable. An instance variable is a part of an object. So for those instance variable, memory will be allocated whenever you create the instance of the class. And here you have defined this method, and now this method will take, this is a constructor, yes, no? And here you have defined one constructor which take two parameters. But here you can check your property name and constructor parameter name is different. So within a constructor, you can simply identify, okay, this is a property and is a parameter. So n parameter value you can initialize into your name property. So, but what happens, suppose if you declare your parameter name similar to the property name. Suppose I have declared parameter name and age. So here you can check here your property name and parameter name is same. So within a constructor, okay, outside the constructor, if you are using anywhere, you are using property name. But within a constructor, actually this is a local variable. Local variable means the variable that you have defined within a block. Within a block, if you declare any variable, that is called local variable, and local variable you can access only within a block in which you have declared it. You can't access outside the block. An instance variable you can access anywhere within a class, and you can access outside the class using an object. An instance variable will be destroyed once object is destroyed. Okay, so then within a block, within a constructor, how you can identify which one is instance variable, which one is a local variable. If you're writing name equal to name, so it means actually you are not able to recognize which one is an instance variable name and which one is a parameter name. Actually, within a local block, parameter get high priority, so it means it's using parameter rather than instance variable. So if parameter name and local, if your property name and parameter name is same, then how you can differentiate? Then you can use this keyword. Actually, okay, when you create any object, you can check here. And you have a, we have created one person object, that person object will be referred by the person variable. But in Groovy, we have one keyword like this keyword. This keyword actually used to contain the reference of current created object. So whatever you have created current object, that current object reference automatic will be captured by the this. So this is also pointing to your current object. Which object you are calling current object? It means the recently created object you can also call as a current object. Yeah. Currently you are using which object, on which object you are working, that object you can refer within a class using this. So just like if you're writing person dot name, so you can access using this also. This dot name means this object for detail. So here within a class, if your parameter name and property name is same, so within a block, you can define using the this, so this dot name. It means if you're writing using this is the property of which object? Current object property. It means this is local parameter. So assign the local parameter value into the current object name property. Now here, so this dot age equal to age you're writing. Assign the age parameter value to the current object age property, into the current object age property. So in this way you can differentiate, yes, so if your local parameter and instance property name is same. Okay, so here we define one parameterized constructor. So in this class you have parameterized constructor which take two parameters and it will initialize both property using those parameters values. So go to the demo.groovy. So while you're creating the object, you can check here while you're creating the object. So constructor of the class will invoke. Now in your class, you have parameterized constructor. So in case of parameterized constructor, you need to supply the value because it's expecting user defined value. So while you're creating the object, that time you can supply the value that you want to initialize. Suppose I want to initialize the name value as a John and age value as a 50. So here what happened, you can check once you create an object, constructor of the class will invoke. Now constructor will accept these two arguments and now it will initialize those property values. So it means when you create an object, immediately your object will initialize and then you are ready to use. If you want to use, you can use. So you can check person.getAge. I want to retrieve their age value. I want to retrieve their name. So println person.getName. You can check here, get name. So you can use their name. So in this way, you can check here. It is a more better So when we should go for constructor, if you want to perform any activity at the time of object creation, then we should go for constructor. So constructor is nothing we can say. Constructor is a special method whose name is similar to the class name, and constructor will invoke automatic whenever instance of the class is created. So if no, suppose constructor is a special method and constructor gets invoked automatic whenever instance of the class is created. So whenever instance of the class is created, constructor of the class will invoke. So if you want to perform object initialization at the time of object creation, then you can place object initialization code within a constructor. So now you can check here. Your object name is John and value is 50. So this is use of constructor. This is a use of proper constructor. So that is the advantage of a constructor. So that is the advantage of the constructor. So it means when you can use the constructor whenever you want to make any yes no. If you want to perform object initialization activity at the time of object creation, then you can define a constructor. Okay, so go to the person.groovy, and here you can understand one more thing is also like this keyword. So this keyword is nothing. This keyword used to represent current object. So within a class, if you want to represent current object property you want to refer, you can refer using this keyword. This dot and property name. It means this representing to your current object. So you can refer current object property within a class using this. So this is a way to define your constructor. And let's now we take one more example and we are try to understand more about. So class within a class, what we can define within a class, guys, we can define properties, we can define methods which contain operation that you want to perform through an object, and then you can define a constructor also. So if you want to perform any yes no object initialization related activity, then you can define yes no constructor. Inside a constructor you can place object initialization related activity. So let's now here we create one more class card.groovy. I am going to create card.groovy. So let's now you can check here we have class name car. We have created car class. In this car class, let's we define property private string name property. Yes, no, we have one name property. Name property car has name, and then we have one car has color string color property, and then car has yes no model number. So public integer model. So we have defined this property, and then here, suppose if you want to return card details, so here we have defined one method which return card details, entire details. So this is a method that we have defined. Inside this method, you can write any business logic that you want to execute. Suppose I want to println you are driving, we can say you are driving which dollar model, yes, no, and model value we are display, and then comma dollar color value, and then yes no colored, and then dollar name. And now inside this yes no I define one more method start engine. So it means this is a function which basically used to start your engine. So just like I'm println starting engine for which one dollar name started engine for. So you can define a car class. Okay. If you want to initialize car instance at the time of creation, then you can define a constructor also. So let's how we can define constructor. So you can define constructor name must be similar to the class name. So here we define one car class constructor. Okay, how many property you want to initialize? Three property: name, color, and model. So you can, if you want to define parameterized constructor, so you can declare three property. Like directly you can define name property, color property, and model property. Now within a constructor, yes, no, we can differentiate property name and parameter name using this. So this dot name, this is a property, and that property we want to initialize with name parameter. Then this dot color. So this is a current object color property. Now we will want to initialize through color parameter. Now similar, we initializing model property. This dot model equal to model. And then we are defining getter and setter. If you want to define, you can define getter and setter. So I want to define for getter for which property? Name property. So def set name. Set name. Okay, here you can check a parameter name we have take same. So then you can define yes, no, property and parameter using this keyword. So this dot name equal to name. So you don't need to take different name, yes, no, for your parameter. So you can take similar name to your property name, but only within a block, within a constructor, or within a method, you can define using their this. So I have defined one method set name, and now we have defined one method get name, which return the name property, return name. And then we define def set color, now it required also one property color, and now we initializing color property, this dot color equal to color. And then I need to define get color, so def get color, and then now we are returning color value, return color. And then we have model, so I have defined def set model, we have take model property, and now we can initialize using this dot model equal to model. And now we define getter, so get model, and now we can return model. You can check it. So our class is car class is ready. So let's now we have created different class object. If you want to use this class, so we need to create an object. So go to the demo.groovy. Let's here we created a car object. So first I'm going to create one car. I give the reference variable name like Toyota Toyota equal to new car. And while you're creating the car, that time if you want to initialize, you can pass the yes or no name of your car, Toyota, and then you can specify color. Suppose color is a red, and then model number. Check your parameter in which order you have defined. First parameter what you have taken, color model. Okay, model is at the end. Go to the demo.groovy, and what is the model value? Suppose I give the model is a 2019. So one our Toyota class is created. Okay, if you want to create one more instance, you can create one more object. Suppose I created one more car object. This is a Ford card, yes, no? And now the name of that card, you can supply, yes, no? You can change the name for car just like Ford. I have changed the name like Ford, and then color as a white, and model I suppose give the 2018. This is a one more car we have created. If you want to create one more car instance, suppose I have created Mercedes is equal to new car. So now you can initialize the value Mercedes. Okay, and then you can specify color gray, and then you can specify year like 2017. So there are three instances we have created. Okay, if you want to get Total details, so you can Total dot get, there is a method card details. It will give that card details. If you run it and check here, Toyota details, what is the Toyota details? Okay, go to the line number, go to the your car class. Okay, here you are using interpolation, string interpolation. So here you can use dollar model, curly braces, and dollar curly braces, color, dollar name, dollar color. Now you can check. Okay, you can check it showing your detail. Now it's showing you're driving. Yes, no. Go to the your drive. Okay, sorry, dollar we need to place outside, dollar curly brace. Go to the car demo.groovy. Okay, if you want to on Toyota dot we want to call the start engine method, you can check it. You can call it start engine method. Then println. Now we have println something different. Okay. So which card details? Suppose you record Ford card details. So Ford dot you can call get card details method, because get card details method that we have defined inside the class. Which car? Car class has one functionality, get card details. So whenever you want to retrieve any card detail on that car object, you can call the get card details method. It will return the details of that car. So you can check it, you can save it, and now you can check it. You have drive, yes, no, driving 2018 white color Ford card. So, yeah, in this way, you can check if you have seen, yes, no, inside a class, yes, no, you can define your properties, your method, whatever operation you want to define, and you can define constructor also. You can define getter setter also to get and set the properties value, or you can define any functionality function which contain any business requirement. In that business requirement, you can write any your business logic that you have required, and you can invoke that business logic on any instance while you creating. So while you're creating the instance of the class, and on that instance, if you want to invoke that there's a business logic, you can invoke it. So this is a way how we can use. I hope it's clear. Thank you.